Welcome back to Orchid Fitness. This is a recording of a Zoom class that's taking place in September 2024. Just for your information so that you can look back and enjoy the class that maybe you've taken part in or you weren't able to get to. It's a mid-level class, so you need a basic understanding of some Pilates, but I perhaps will give alternatives and yeah. So enjoy the class. We start lying down and work to standing up, so we can just do a little bit of breathing and relaxing first. As I say, just coming down onto the floor, come into a nice set-up position, and we'll just go through that a little bit as well. Support your head for this bit how you feel you need it. So if you want a bit of comfort behind there, remember sometimes using these little balls under your head can be quite nice. And just gently get yourself set up. So you're working through from the feet, so just make sure your weight is evenly placed through the feet. And then just going into your little bit of pelvic tilting, just taking your back through its range of movement. And while you're doing that, just focusing on your breathing, nice and calm, and trying to connect the breathing in with your movement. So maybe at the midpoint of your tilt, you breathe in, and then as you move either into an increased arch, you're breathing out. Come back to the middle, breathe in, and then as you flatten your back into the mat, you're breathing out. Just loosening off. Also, let's have a little go. I haven't done this for a long time. So you're having your thumbs on the bottom of the rib cage, fingers on the top of the bones of the pelvis, and gently kind of circle or tip and tilt. And imagine you've got something in the middle in your belly button, and you're just sending that around in that circular movement one way and then circling it round in the other direction. Becoming aware really of what your lower back will allow you to do, and very gently work your way to your midpoint, so your neutral position. Just make sure, if you want to check, you can slide your hand in, and if you can get it halfway between your waist and your spine, you're about right. Let's focus on the breathing. Nice steady breath. And to begin with, it's just breathing as you have been up till now. Maybe focus on counting the breath. And perhaps as you breathe in, see which number you get to as you breathe in. As you breathe out, maybe you notice you breathe out for a little bit further. And again, so your good breath in, nice breath out. Maybe try and add one number to your count. Lovely. So you're getting a good breath in, nice long breath out. And then when you're doing that, slowly start to think about engaging your core muscles. Pelvic floor, good way to engage the core. Try and time it on the breath out. When you're breathing out, engage your pelvic floor. As you breathe in, you're just loosening the pelvic floor contraction a little bit. And the same again. This time, as you breathe out, you've engaged your pelvic floor muscles. Hold on to them, keep them fully contracted as you breathe in again. And notice maybe that goes more sideways. And then as you breathe out, just that little contraction in that pelvic floor. Then maybe take a breath in and just release it all, and then breathe out again. But see if you can keep that lateral breath pattern flowing rather than your abdominal one, okay? Good, so keep that going. Noticing the difference around your core. Keep that flowing for me for a moment. Just my computer apparently is running out of battery. It's not now, so that's okay. So keep that flow and that calm movement going. Excellent. I'm just going to head back to my mat so that we can see me. Lovely. Okay, so hopefully you're on board. So we've got that neutral position. I'm going to just change the head support now. We're going to move into some shoulder bridge. So again, starting with the feet hip joint distance apart and using your lateral breath. As you breathe in, then gently breathe out. Start to tilt your spine towards the mat, but this time continue and lift the bottom up. And then at the midway point, take a good breath in and then breathing out slowly, slowly, just feeling your back connect with the floor. Keep that going. Really nice. And then add to that. So whichever additions you want to put into that. So when you're adding to that, we can add arm floats. So maybe your arms coming back over the top of your head. Nice breath in, and then slowly leave the arms above your head and come down against that, which again is a lovely stretch. And then bring the arms over. Or you can do leg lifts. And one that we could add as well, you've got to be quite strong through the supporting leg for this. As you go to your bridge, just take one leg off the floor and go through the bridge with that leg lifted, and you could even straighten that. If that is too strong for you, come to your bridge position and then add a leg lift to it. Either a bent leg or a straight leg. Nice. So with that one, you're really focusing on the movement, excuse me, the segmental control through your spine, each little bit of your bones moving and then getting closer to the mat and then lifting away from the mat. Once you're up in position, hold that position, shoulders, hips, knees nicely in line, and then add whichever progression you're doing. I'm going to go for those arms again because I feel they're quite nice to stretch. So if you keep your hands where you can, so I can get them to the floor, but maybe if you keep yours in the air, if that's as far as you can go, and then just use them to anchor you against that stretch as you come down. Slightly different stretch on the spine. Really nice. Well done. Good, good. Looking at you on screen is looking nice. Really good work. Lovely. Okay. So just focus maybe on one more of those. Very nice. Lovely, good. All right, so our next exercise is hip rolls. So let's use them as a nice way to mobilise your lower back and wake up through the rotation element. Okay, so we're doing the lower half rotation first. So feet together, knees together, and gently go from the centre to one side, and you can turn your head to look the other way. As you return to the centre, squeeze those legs together and really feel as though that lower leg is assisting the other leg back to the centre. And as you go to the other side, then the top leg assists, shall we say, the lower leg to the floor, and then it swaps over. So the lower leg assists the top leg back. And by doing that, you keep a good connection in the core, and you can really feel those ribs, or the muscles around the ribs, and the deep core muscles starting to work as well to support that rotation. For those of you that it is appropriate for, you can work up in your tabletop position and making sure when you start your tabletop that you haven't lost control through the core. And very gently just go from one side back to the centre and then to the other side. You maybe don't roll quite so far when you've got your legs up in the imprint position, because you're focusing on slightly more resistance, shall we say? Brilliant. Okay, that's enough of me. For our next one, so just bring that one to a close. So as you finish that one, hug your knees into your chest. Gently just go from side to side just to loosen off the lower back. You can feel yesterday's run in there. And nice just to give your body a little bit of a stretch out in areas where it may have got a little bit tight. We're going to go for grabbing your band next. So a little bit of work. What I'll get you to do, if you can, is to tie a small loop in the end of that band, or if you've got a continuous band, you can use that instead. Because we're going to go opposite arm to leg. So I'm going to do this with my long band. I know I'll regret this because it's a really tough band, this one, but got to work. All right, so we're coming to a position where you've got your leg, one leg in the air, and the opposite hand also up in the air. Now the other leg can either stay on the floor or come up to an imprint position. Make sure that you've taken the time to go through the setup, so your neutral spine, your core muscles engaged, and then we're going to move one leg down towards the floor. And yeah, I knew this would be too strong. So just pretend. So we're going to move one leg down towards the floor, and then if you've got the stretch in your band, the opposite arm moves. The other way of doing it is, as I've just had to do here, is to hold the end of that band down by your side, support that leg movement, and do the opposite arm movement. Bear with me. I'm going to swap bands. Quick. Okay, so we're swapping over. Do make sure your knot is as tight as it can be. Excellent. Okay, so we're back. We've got the centre in its neutral position. As I said, the shoulders, try and keep them from being up round the ears. So draw the shoulders down and then just lengthen the leg away from you, and the arm goes to the floor or as far back as you can get it. So starting in that good setup, nice breath in. As you breathe out, lower that leg down, return back. Excellent. So really sort of working through that central core area, using your arm almost as added resistance. I've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous here. Now it's too loose. It's better. It's tightened up. Good work. Excellent. Okay, so we put that down to one side. Again, have a little hug of the knees into the chest, maybe gentle rock from side to side. All good. Well done. Next one I'm going to do is just encourage you to come up to sitting. If you find in a sitting position that you are not able to keep your neutral spine, you could either come up to kneeling or grab your block, sit on your block. I'm going to do the neck warm-up one now that we often do in standing, but I thought we could do it in sitting. So you can sit how you like. You know, if you can sit cross-legged, great. If you find that a little bit uncomfortable, it's better. I can do it that way better than I can the other this morning. But let's just be in that neutral position. So sitting on your sit bones, nice and upright. And we'll do the head turning move just to try and release the neck a little bit, okay? So you're just gently going to look over one side. Note what you're looking at. Okay. then the hand that is on that side, it's the way you turn, that goes on top of the other one. Nice. Relax those shoulders down and then just take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, very slow turn, but your head looks forwards. And then breathe in on the return journey. So there's your slow pace. I would do a couple of those to begin with. Now the difference in doing this in a seated position is that the pelvis is more stable. So when I say speed this up, just be careful. Okay, don't go pulling anything in the lower back. That's nice. So if you wanted to stand up at this point and do this, you're more than welcome. Excellent. So we're just going into just a little bit of a twist on that opposite diagonal line. Looking good. So it's freeing up a little bit, I hope. And then when you're ready, have a look over the shoulder again. What are you looking at now? We've got some different movement there, yeah? Yeah, good. Let's do the other side. So look over the shoulder, see what you're looking at. So the hand on top of the other one, and then very gently start to move slowly through that rotation. Again, keeping your shoulders down. Your hands are sort of sitting at chest level. Using your breath to begin with, very much tied in with the movement. So you're breathing out as you rotate, breathing in as you return. Looking good. Nice. Well done. And then you can speed that up. Excellent. Just, as I say, note, because that's then putting a little bit more onto the pelvis, so you just have to be careful that you're not tweaking anything or pulling anything in the back. When we do this in standing, your hips can move a little bit more. Okay, so it's just an interesting exercise just to feel the difference. Okay, but it also proves you can do this in sitting. So then recheck. Hello. Good. There's my owl head. Wonder how long it'll take for me to turn it all the way around and look behind me. Okay, well done. From here, you can do this next one with or without a band. It's up to you. We're going to do a dumb waiter, first of all. Here I am with my band. In the sitting position, it's a little bit tough. So if you don't like the sitting position, kneeling or standing, okay? Gently bring the elbows into the side of the body. And I've got my band laying over my hands, but you can put it behind you if you wish. A nice breath in again. Make sure that you're in neutral. Good. And then gently move the arms away from the center of the body. Turn the hands out as you breathe out, and then breathe in on the return. Lovely. So breath in, and then as you breathe out, just allow the arms to go. Lovely. Nice. So really focus. So if you're hunching your shoulders, maybe loosen the tension on the band or do it without. So we're looking at opening through the front of the chest here, and around the back, you can feel your shoulder blades hopefully moving in towards the center of the body. Okay. Make this one the last one with the band. Well done. Then we're going to change position. So instead of having the palms up, we've now got the thumbs up. So you need to do this one without the band. Okay, we're going for a turn of the hands first, very similar, but then we're taking the arms up. And just go, you can see, I mean, my palms are level with the top of my head, I suppose, and then come back down and round. So looking at is that opening of the chest and reaching the arms up. And now what's happening in your rib cage, and more importantly your shoulder blade, is what is important there. I'm attempting to sort of show you. So as you take the hand out, your shoulder blade will move. As you bring the arm around, sit the shoulder blade down, and you'll feel it sit down onto the back of the rib cage. And it's a slightly different way of encouraging those shoulder blades to sit better onto the back of the rib cage. Okay, so take the arms out to the side and just reaching up. Good. Can anyone feel that different movement on the shoulders? Can you feel that difference? If you've got the mobility, you could put one hand round the back and actually put one hand on the shoulder blade as you're moving it and just see where it goes. Because for me, it's about this midpoint here, that it sits nicely onto the back of the rib cage. And that's kind of where I'd like it to strengthen up a little bit more, so it's getting better at being in that position. Yeah, the downside of it being a little bit wintry this morning is we've all got extra layers on, so it's harder to feel through. So, where did the sun go? God, a week ago I was still too hot. Excellent, well done. From there, let's just come out of this sitting position. Very good, well done everyone that's just stuck with that. And come into a shell stretch. So just find a position that's comfy. For some of you, it might be that you're on your forearms and you just lean forward and backwards a little bit in that position. Others, if you've got more flexibility, you can sit your bottom down onto your heels, relax the head onto the floor, and then stretch the arms above you or by the side of you. Both of these are really good ways to practice lateral breathing. Just because of the way you're laying, it's harder to get the air into the abdominal area. And the other thing you can do is to reach one hand across and place it on the other arm. And feel that stretch on that opposite line, so shoulder to hip again, on the diagonal moves. Make sure you've done both sides, so really enjoy that stretch. Again, having woken up that shoulder area, it might be a little bit, ooh, thank you, I'm awake now. Okay, very nice. Okay, let's come from there into an all fours position. Now, with the all fours position, if you find it hard to support yourself on your arms, you could try forearms. And if that's still too much strain on the shoulders, for whatever reason, come down onto the floor and lay face down with your head supported. Okay, so pick your position. Let's go into a good setup. So if you need to do your tuck and tilt, then do. Once you feel happy, you're in the best position that you can be. And now what we just talked about is feeling where those shoulder blades were. Let's go into a movement for the legs. Excuse me. I'll go here. Right, try again. Just make sure everything's set. Then you extend the leg. We're going to lift it, cross it over, lift it, bring it back, and replace. Good. And then try again. So as you lift that, extend the leg first of all. I'm going to lift, cross it over. And for any of you thinking, well, she said I could lay on the floor a moment ago, I will just show you a slight difference here. So all we're going to do is to lift and just touch the toe onto the opposite heel. So lift and cross. Now what we're getting in any of these, hopefully, is a feeling that you're working this glute muscle, but also as you cross it over, you're getting some stretch into that hip and down the side of the body. Really working through those leg movements. Really nice. Well done, everyone. Really focus. So when you've done a few of these, it's starting to build. Try thinking about where your shoulders have gone. So have they crept up around your ears again? Can you kind of mimic that position that we had the shoulders in a moment or two ago? For me, when I get in that position, I can really feel it's tough. It's making them work. So just work through that, lift and cross, alternate sides. Let's do 2 more on each side, using your breath. So your breath is breathing out as you're doing the move, and then breathing in as you return back to your start position. And then that leaves you ready with your breath out to go into the next side, and so on. And when you're ready, you can just sit back into a little bit of a stretch for that one. Really nice. Well done. Okay. I do have another offering for there, but I thought we'd come down to lying down first and do some swan dive. And then we'll come back and do the other one. Okay, so laying down flat on the floor in your prone position. Really nice. Support yourself, because we're going to do, first of all, swan dive, but then if you find swan dive is too much for you, bring your arms down by your side and work into doing the dart. I'll explain both of them, but we'll start with this one. Again, have your hands slightly in that W position, which is similar to where we were a minute or two ago in that movement for the shoulder blades. So let's try and encourage the shoulders to stay down from the start of it. Check your lower back, make sure that's found its neutral, and then lifting, extending up through the head and neck. And then come up as far as you feel able. So it might just be you come up to the forearms, or you can bring that all the way up. The further up you come, we get some activity into your glutes as well. And slowly coming down. The dart was having your hands palms facing up. Breath in as you breathe out. Rotate the palms so they touch the top of your legs, and your shoulder blades have glided together and slightly down. And there is an option to lift your head there if you feel that that is strong enough for you. Okay, well done. Just do a few repetitions of those. Really focus on those shoulders with this and encourage them to move slightly and just glide, excellent, away from the ears. Ooh, well done. Okay, so I did say there was another all fours one, didn't I? Oh yes. So finish that one, have a little stretch if you want. Okay. And then, so just come up, you can come through that into a little stretch and then into all fours again. So pick your position. So you just make sure your wrist, elbow and shoulder are nicely aligned. Can do that on a fist, or put your elbow so it's aligned underneath your shoulder. So we don't want to be leant forwards or backwards like this. Okay. We're doing, first of all, we're going to bring that leg up to a bent position and we're going to kick it up into the air. Then you bring it down all the way back to the start position and take it out to the side. Okay, I'll do that on my hands so you can see that position as well. So the leg comes up, you kick it up, you bring it back down, take it out to the side. And then you repeat on the other side, and then the breathing, you're breathing in, lateral breath in. As you breathe out, lifting that leg, making sure the core doesn't move about. And as you come down, you're breathing in, then you're breathing out, ready to go out to the side, and so on. So you're lifting that leg. And then you could do what I've just done, is do both in the air. So you could keep your leg up in that lifted, kicked up position and do the clam in that position in the air and then bring it back down again. So that's your progression. Kind of see what your back is doing. Make sure that your shoulder blades are in place. Excellent. And remember, you say you've got the options, and that one you could also do laying face down. It's still the lift, you can do the kick up, and then all you would do is just hover that foot and turn it out to the side in that position. So you don't need to lift it all the way off the mat. Both of those really good for your glute area. Really nice, well done. Let's do some arm openings next. Yep. Or a modification of arm openings if you struggle to do them. So, laying on your side, just retrieve my mat. It seems to have gone sailing up the room. Some support for your head. Rest your head down. I'll come to an alternative in a moment, although you probably know what they are. So you're in a sitting position, knees are together, and then line your heels up with your sit bones. Gently put your hands together and check in with the rest of the body. So lower waist lifted, rib cage, core engaged, all of that. Nice breath in. As you breathe out, engage the core, move the arm. And then you can decide how far back you go from here. If you feel you can go further back, then rotate round, taking your head with you so it follows your hand. Nice breath in at the midpoint. And breathing out, head and hand come back round together. Good, and then keep that going. Now what I find is a useful tip is to push that lower leg into the mat and stabilise that lower half of the body. So you really want to make sure you've got something resting on this hip, like an imaginary glass of water. And as you go back, the hip stays still. It'll avoid spilling the water. And then just gently return. Nice. And then repeat that on the other side. Flow the stretch that you get through that upper body as you rotate. So you've got that option of doing in a kneeling up or a standing up position, and just the same thing. So it's just taking the head and the hand all the way back into that stretch and then return to opening and closing the doors. Really nice. Okay, as you finish those, slowly bring yourself up into a standing position. If you want to stay doing what you're doing for a little bit longer, that's fine with me. But just slowly, so as you're coming up, think about how you get up. So you can use this position like a crouch position, use your hands, come up through a little bit of a roll up. Or you can just use your hands to stand up however you feel comfy. Good. So far so good. Excuse me. Right, so in your standing position, let's just do some balance work, which I might build to some strengthening work. Okay, so in your nice tall position, let those shoulders relax, find your neutral position, lateral breath in. As you breathe out, one leg balance, it's a knee lift, and then place back down. Same on the other side, knee lift, place back down. You can, if you can see your screen big enough, you can use it to see how you get on with that. Do you wobble? Do you shift through the middle? I know I shift more one side than the other because this side is definitely, it's in need. So I really have to focus more when I stand on this side to get everything working, whereas the other side fires in a bit better. So maybe you can start to notice that for yourself. Okay, then we've got some options here to add. We could do a knee lift and then extend it back behind you and bring the arms around in front for balance. And then return. Excellent. Or my other little gem, which I'm modifying slightly. Where's my band? Because we got this going yesterday and I nearly tripped a few people over. So what we're doing is just putting the band as a loop around your foot. But you just want to have one foot securing the end of the band so that you can then lift. Hold on, I've got my trouser leg caught in there as well. So we're doing that, just the knee lift, but against the resistance of the band. So you're just one leg at a time. So you just do that knee lift against the resistance of your band. So you're just picking up the band to strengthen the movement to the top of the quad area. Excellent. So if you fancy doing that, I figured it was easier to do just one side at a time, because yesterday I was doing left, right, and it was causing a few wobbles, and I thought, oh, no, no, no. So we'll make sure we just do that on both sides, or carry on with the balance. It's up to you. Put that over there, out the way. Excellent. And just seeing if you can get just one or two more of those in, and then holding that balance. Well done. Okay, how are we doing? Oh gosh. Right, let's just think about a finish with maybe a little calf stretch. So perhaps one foot in front, one behind, and lean into that stretch. Feel that in the lower legs perhaps, and then gently bring your hands behind you. So you place them on your bottom, and just gently try and bring your elbows together. So you're opening up through the front of the chest a little bit, but make sure you haven't let your lower back arch like I had there. So just really feel that connection in the core. Change that over to the other side. That's good. And then the same thing again, just hands, maybe push your hands into your back this time, so you're just drawing against one another, so you get a little bit of connection in the core. Place the shoulders so they are staying still rather than drawing together this time. Ooh, how are the calves? Ooh. Brilliant. Well done. I think that will do for today. Good work.